Hey guys, it's Michael Stevens. Let's talk about the actual mechanics of playing a major and a minor. Here's our major chord again, and we learned before that that was the first, third, and the fifth. Now let's go up to the next chord and take a look at it. Now this is a minor chord, and it happens to be a D minor chord because my thumb is on D. But why is it a D minor chord? Well, what we have to do first is decide, well, how would we play a D major chord? This is where knowing how to play a major scale comes in, and this is how we can explain it. If this is 1, I have to go a whole step to find the second note of D. There it is. And now I have to go a whole step to find the third note. If I go to F, I've only gone half a step, so I actually have to go to this black key, which I'm going to call F sharp because it's a little higher than F. It's some kind of an F. 1, 2, there's my third, half a step to 4, and a whole step to 5. So this is a D major chord. It's D, F sharp, A. But if I'm in the key of C, the rules are I can only use the notes that are in the key of C to make chords. So I can't play this note, I have to do something to it. Since there's basically two chord forms for the families of chords, major and minor, I'm either going to try to make this some kind of major or some kind of minor. So in order to make it fit into C the easiest way, I'm just going to lower this tone half a step. And now what do I have? 1, 2, 3. That's a flat third. What's a minor chord? It's a 1, flat 3, 5, or it's a flat third. So when I'm in the key of C, the first chord is a major. If I try to make a chord on the second note and I make it major, it's not going to fit in, so I have to make it minor. Same thing for E. If I was going to play E major, it would be this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be, but I have to be in the key of C. So what do I do with this third? I lower it again. Now I have an E minor. Now for the chord F, I'm fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. For the chord G, I'm fine also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I'm on an A though, and I play an A major, it's going to be this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once again, I want to stay in the key of C. I have to do something to this chord, so I lower the third tone, and now it's an A minor. Now the next chord is kind of a funky chord. It's called the diminished chord, and I'm going to show you why. If I were to play this chord as a major, it would look like this, following the form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now I need to be in the key of C. So I can flat the third, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm okay, but I still have a 5 that's not in the key of C. I need to flat that. So the formula for a diminished chord, which you very rarely hear in pop music, except maybe in Maroon 5 song, there's a diminished in that song.
Death metal.
Yeah, death metal. Is this. How would I say that? Well, I'm playing a 1, a flat 3, and then what would we call this? We'd call it a flat 5. Now let me just summarize this by saying that in order to make a window in a house, you couldn't just say, make it about this big. You need to have some kind of way of measuring it. So they made up a ruler. It's something that's totally made up, but it's a way to measure it. Instead of someone saying it's as long as my arm, because everyone's arm is a different length, that wouldn't work. So they made up a ruler. In music, the ruler that we like to use is the major scale. So I can measure everything by the major scale. If I want to know how far it is from here to here, I just put the major scale here, and I start here, and I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how we can count. Go. All right. Okay, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to practice making major scales, and we're going to start on the white keys. We're not going to do the black keys yet. And this is going to help you understand why chords are major and minor again, because it can be a little bit confusing. So let's start on a C. And let's use the formula. Let's just remember, between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 are half steps. Everything else is a whole step. So 1 to 2 is a whole step. 2 to 3 is a whole. 3 to 4 is a half. 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. All right, that's great. So now we know all the white keys are the key of C. Now, let's say we wanted to play a major scale starting on a D. Now let's see what we have to do. So from D to E is a whole step. Now we want to go another whole step. So you don't want to go to an F. You're actually going to go to F sharp, because remember the definition, a whole step is 2 half steps. So from D to D sharp is a half step. From D sharp to E is another half. So that's why that's a whole step. But from E to F is only half a step. So we need to go to F sharp. So it would be 1, 2, 3, half a step now to G, that's 4, whole step to 5, 6. Now we're in that same strange place. If we go 6 here on the B to the C, that's only half a step. So we need to go to C sharp, and then naturally half a step back to D. So to do that again slowly, we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try it on the E. If we start on an E and we just go to F, that's only half a step, but we need to go a whole step. So we're going to go to F sharp right away. 1, 2, now we need to go a whole step. The white key is only half a step away, the black key is a whole step. So it's E, F sharp, G sharp. Now we go half a step, we're back to A, a whole step. What note are we on now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't go to C, that's only half a step. We have to go to 6 as a whole step. 7, and back to E. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're on?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey guys, it's Michael Stevens again, half awake here. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about a progression. Now, you've probably heard me say this before if you've been in my class, but music is a language, just like the alphabet. Now you have the alphabet and you have single letters in the alphabet. Very few of those letters actually mean anything. When you put those letters together, you get words. That's like in music, you have all the notes, and you put the notes together and you get a chord. So a chord is like a word. It's like I'm saying something. Now, if you have one word, it can be very meaningful. A sentence is when you string together a bunch of words and it has a bigger picture. In music, we call that a chord progression. So we might play one chord here, play another chord, and come back. It has a little statement. Even without any lyrics or vocal line, there's a little statement here to your ear. So these are called chord progressions. Now we're going to do all the chord progressions in this series in root position for now. So wherever my thumb is going to be the name of the chord. And instead of saying this is a C, I'm going to say this is a 1 because I'm in the key of C. And we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be the 1 chord. Now, what's true in one key is true in every key. If a board is 14 inches long here, it's 14 inches long in China. So if I'm in the key of C and the first chord should be major, then the first chord should be major in every key as the first chord. All right? So I'm going to play a 1 chord, and then let's play a 2 chord. Notice that the 2 chord is minor. Let's play the 3 chord, or the chord built off of the 3rd finger. That's a minor also. 4 chord is major, 5th chord is major, 6th chord is minor, and the 7th chord is that really weird chord called diminished. And then back to the 1 chord, or the 8 chord, same thing. Now, how are we going to remember that? Well, one of the most popular progressions, and maybe the most popular progression in all of music, is playing a 1, 4, 5, or some combination of it. You probably just played a million songs right there, in some shape. So, 1, 4, and 5, now these are chords, not tones, are major. 2, 3, and 6 are minor. And it's really easy to remember that 7 is the weird diminished chord. So here's your big test. If you're listening to a song and you hear a person play a minor chord, would they really be playing the 4 chord or the 5 chord? No, probably not. And of course we're talking about measuring everything from a major scale. You can measure things from a minor point of view too, but let's just look at it from major right now.